Hello YouTube, this is Sean and I'm back today and I'm going to be going over some of the gear I'm going to be taking on my 2016 Appalachian Trail thru hike, and today I'm covering my big three. Stay with me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get started, but before I do that, I just want to kind of throw something out there. What I'm going to do for my gear is I'm going to do several videos for the gear that I'm carrying on my 2016 Appalachian Trail thru hike. As I mentioned, today I'm just going to be covering the big three. Another thing to take in consideration too is even if you're not doing a thru hike, this is just something that maybe for those of you guys that are viewing my channel and you're into backpacking or looking to get into backpacking, it can be informative as far as some of the basic things that you may want to consider in terms of the gear you may want to pack and ways of potentially getting your pack weight down. So let me go ahead and get started. With that being said, the pack that I'm going to be using for my thru hike is going to be the Osprey Exos 48. I used this a lot last year, and there's a lot of things that I like about it. As you can tell, there's even a little hole in here, and then I have one in the front pockets. But there's a lot of features about this pack that I like. It's not the lightest of my packs. Actually, it's probably the heaviest, but it rides really good. It can carry a good weight. It gives me plenty of space, and so I've decided that I'm going to take this one. If I later decide along the trail that I want to switch it out, I may go with a lighter pack. So that's something I may end up switching out to later. Another thing that I'm probably going to end up doing is you can take this hood off. If you do, it shaves off roughly 4 ounces. So the pack weight itself right now with everything as is going to be 36 ounces or 2 pounds, 4 ounces. So the pack that I'm taking is going to be Osprey Exos 48. So as far as shelter is concerned, what I'm going to be taking with me is Zpacks Hexamid Solo Plus. This is a different configuration than what you're going to get through Zpacks. I made some modifications and did some changes to it. So I won't get into that right now, but what I'm going to do is just go over the components and then I'll give you the weights. And then once I do that, I'll explain to you what it is that I did and why. And I also have a video posted on my channel. I want to say I put it up about a year ago. That gives you some insight on what it is that I did too, so if you need a visual. But this right here is my Zpacks Hexamid Solo Plus with the lines, as well as in the stuff sack. It comes in at 8.7 ounces. This right here is my Sea to Summit Nano Pyramid bug net. This comes in at 3.1 ounces. This is my Bora Bivy. This comes in at 6.8 ounces. And I got some titanium Sheppard hook stakes, which come in at 2.8 ounces, and a Cuban Fiber stake bag. In addition to that, I did order the Zpacks Cuban Fiber bathtub floor. So let me explain to you why I did what I did with my system. This doesn't have the bug net in it, and I did that intentionally. What I did was I created a modification so that way I can use the Hexamid net or the Sea to Summit bug net. So I can actually put it in here and use it as a bug net, or I can use it as its own independent bug net if I opt to. And the reason why I did that is because it's a lighter option. In addition to that, I'm going to take one of the two. I'm not going to take both of them. What this does is it gives me the ability to have bug protection inside my tarp, as well as if I decide to be outside. This right here, the advantages of having this is the fact that I can use it inside my tarp, but the thing is it doesn't give you any room because it's a bivy. In addition to that, I can also use it for cowboy camping if I decide to do that, which just makes for easier setup at the end of a long day. And then I can also use it to add a little bit of warmth to my sleep or my quilt or my sleep system. Or if I sleep in a shelter, it just gives my pad in my bag a little extra protection. The only disadvantage to this is that it's not breathable, not like a net. And if you're interested, I'll do a full review on this later. I'm not going to do one now. But when you take everything, if you take this out, my total weight with the tarp, with the bug net as well as the steak bag and the Cuban Fiber bathtub floor, which is supposed to come in at 4.6 ounces that I ordered. The total weight is going to be 19.2 ounces. If you add this and take this out, you're looking at another roughly about a 3-ounce increase. So you're looking at roughly about 22.2 ounces. So that's my shelter system. Okay, so this is my sleep system. I'm opting to take one of 2 pads. I don't know yet. I think I'm more or less leaning towards one. This is Thermarest Prolite Plus. Based on my scale, this comes in at roughly 12.9 ounces, and this is for the small. Reason why I'm thinking I'm going to take this is because it's going to be less puncture, or less chances of it being punctured. It's a heavier material. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with this, plus it's easier to roll up and it's self-inflating. If I don't, another option is I'm going to take my Neoair X Light. This is actually a woman's version. The reason why I have the woman's version is because it actually has a higher R value than the men's version. And this one comes in at 11.6 ounces. So this is a size regular. This one's actually longer than this one. But again, I think I'm going to end up going with this one. In addition to that, I also have a Zpacks Pillow Dry Bag. The way this works, I've actually done a gear review video on this. You can check it out on my channel. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but it's a roll top dry bag, and when you flip it inside out, which it is right now, it's got a felt side to it, so you just stuff your clothes in it and you can use it as a pillow. If I remember correctly, this is a medium-sized dry bag. You have an option from Zpacks of either getting the medium or the medium plus. This is the medium. In addition to that, I also have my top quilt that I'm going to be taking. This is one by Hammock Gear. It's their Burro 40, but what I did was I actually had Adam put an extra 3 ounces of down in it. So this actually will have roughly about a 32-degree rating, which should be fine based on the time that I'm starting. Plus with my clothing system, if it gets colder, I can just add different pieces and that'll keep me warm. The weight on this is going to come in at 14.8 ounces. I also did order a dry bag from Zpacks. That way I can make sure that I have something a little more waterproof versus just using a sil nylon stuff sack. I'll go ahead and take it out. Give me 1 second, let me pull it out and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so for those of you guys that may not be familiar with what a top quilt is, usually you use these in a hammock, but I use them for both. I use them inside a hammock as well as if I go to ground or if I'm just sleeping in a tent or a shelter. The way it works is, one is you're going to notice there's no hood to it. It's not like a mummy bag. In addition to that, if you flip it over, there's no bottom to it. Right here is completely open. And the reason for that is because it's a way of shaving weight. When you actually sleep on a sleeping bag, you compress it down on the bottom of it, so it doesn't really help with retaining heat. That's what you're going to use your sleeping pad for. It also has 3 snaps right here, so you can open it up and just make it into like a bed quilt where it just completely is wide open and it's flat. It's got a little cord here so you can draw this in. So this is what's called a foot box. This is where your feet go in, and then the rest of this is just opened up, and you kind of just sleep with it like a blanket. And then you also have a snap right here, so it can snap around your neck. And then it's got a draw cord right here, so you can draw it in and tighten it around your neck, so that way you can make it so that way it doesn't slip off when you're sleeping at night. And this is made by Hammock Gear. I can tell you I've bought probably 5 quilts from Adam and Stormcrow at Hammock Gear, and Okay, so another thing that I'm also considering is taking a hammock with me. I'm not sure if I'm going to start with it or not. It's something I've kind of been torn between this and using my tarp. But if I end up deciding to take this, I may end up waiting until after I get out of Smokies to take it. So let me just go ahead and tell you what I have. This is a Hammock Gear Hex Fly tarp. I also have some titanium Dutchware on it. In addition to that, this is the actual hammock. This is made by Dream Hammocks. Randy at Dream Hammocks is an awesome guy to work with. I've been using his products for a little while now. This includes the whoopee hook suspension with titanium hardware, as well as it also includes it's got a built-in Cuban Fiber, what's it called, gear hang. It also has tree straps, and the total weight on this comes in at 13.2 ounces inside the Cuban Fiber stuff sack. This is also my under quilt. This is made by Hammock Gear. It's their Phoenix 40. Phoenix 40 has a 40-degree rating, but also had another 2 ounces of down put in, so it can give me roughly about a 35-degree rating. For those of you guys that don't know about hammocks, one of the things that I know personally is that I prefer to use underquilts underneath it. It's basically like a sleeping bag that goes underneath the hammock to make it so that way you don't get cold spots when you're sleeping at night. Especially in lower temperatures, you're definitely going to want something like an underquilt. I also have some titanium Sheppard hook stakes. These come in at roughly 1 ounce, and that would be used for the tarp, so that way when I pitch the tarp, and the Cuban Fiber stuff sack. So with this whole system, it comes in at 21.3 ounces. Not too much of a difference in comparison to that, as well as using my other system that I was looking at as far as my tarp is concerned. So again, I'm still deciding on which one I'm going to opt for. Let me just give you some final gear weights. If I end up going with my Hexamid, total gear weight for everything that I mentioned is going to be 5 pounds or 5.1 pounds. Ironically, if I go with this same system this system, as well as just going with my hammock system, the weight's going to be the exact same thing. It's going to be 5.1 pounds. So cool thing is that I do definitely have options, and I'm not really going to take any kind of weight penalties for it. Outside of that, if you liked the video, please hit the like button. Like, share, and subscribe. There's going to be more videos as I start preparing for my thru hike. Thanks for watching. This is Sean Ryu.
Moving like the speed of sound.